Hello, hello.
Hey, hey.
Hey, how's it going?
That's going pretty well. Hold on, let me turn you up just a little bit. All right, there we go.
Cool. Can you make an open lobby? I will hop in.
Sure.
How are things going?
It's going pretty well. How was your day?
Bad. I'm like sick, but I'm not like miserable because of it. I'm just really tired, so I just like it's weird
Oh, okay.
because I don't feel like I'm sick, so I end up like just like napping, and I'm like, I wish I were doing more, but yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, I totally understand.
Yeah, like I wish I were like full on sick, so I'm just like, yeah, there's nothing I can do. I just gotta die, you know?
True, true. All right, I went ahead and opens one.
Cool.
So, ICFC was fun.
Yeah, yeah. How did that go?
Well, the first guy I played against, I felt bad for because he was kind of lagging out, but also Steam shut down or whatever.
Yeah,
But
that was crazy.
I
It kept
yeah,
disconnecting.
that was crazy timing, but we did finish it. Um, I I saved the clips of it, but I almost don't even want it. Like when we go over it, like I like later, like on Monday or whatever. I probably won't show those just because it was just like not even playing Tekken.
Yeah, it's fine.
But the others were with Junya, and Junya obviously mopped the floor with me,
Yeah.
and then I got Mean, and he
Oh my
played
god.
Anna instead of Nina.
Mean is a battle if you've never played him.
Yeah, I never played him. I took him to final round both games, but I know the second one I kind of like. I know exactly what I did to lose that game too. Like
Yeah. That's the mean thing. It's like you'll lose and you'll know why and it feels bad.
Yeah, I accidentally like I saw the time on the clock and like I saw our health bars and then like I just like I kind of like lost control of my thoughts for a minute and I panicked and I
Yeah.
was just like power crush and then he punished it with Anna's rage strike.
Yeah, yeah,
I was like, yeah, I did that.
yeah. Alright, so yeah, let's see. I think you just wanted to pick my brain based on how this set goes, right? So
Yeah.
okay.
Round one. Fight. Perfect. Round two. Fight.
My bad. Oh shit.
KO. Round three. Fight. KO. Round four. Fight.
You're welcome to change the stage or anything you need.
Get ready for the next battle.
It's that yeah, obviously feedback after, but like the
No, you can ask
the,
questions during and stuff too. I don't mind.
Okay, cool. That high like counter hit sword thing.
Yeah, just up forward
Yeah,
one.
I have to watch. Yeah, I have to. Oh, that's a forward one. Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
have
shit's
to,
hella
I
dumb.
have to always, like watch out for that. Yeah.
You can do like I mean, up to you if you want me to give you advice now. You're welcome to ask anything. Obviously, just let me know if
Sure.
you would prefer advice immediately or if you want to like do it naturally. I don't know what you preferred.
Yeah, maybe I'll just ask for some
hunt is
Noctis
on.
things, but like
Yeah,
as
yeah,
far as like my game plan,
Round
I
one.
want it unsoiled for
Yeah,
your,
sure.
for
Unsoiled.
your-
That's hilarious.
for your opinion.
Yeah. Oh my god.
KO. Round 2. Fight. KO. Round 3. Fight. KO. Round 4. Fight. KO. Final round. Fight. KO.
So far, man.
Yeah, I'll
can
change
walk.
the map because that's totally it.
That's what?
Because that's totally it.
Yeah. No, I mean, little things make a big difference.
Welcome to the King of Iron Fist tournament, Noctis Lucis Kylum. Get ready for the next battle. Round 1. Fight. KO. Round 2. Fight.
Whoa.
Whoops.
KO. Round 3. Fight. KO. Round 4. Fight.
Oh shit.
Piss off!
No. GG's.
KO.
Nice. GG's.
You
So
win.
I'll share my screen and pull up the replay, and then I'll just talk about it kind of, unless there's a specific situation you want to cover, I'll just kind of let it play and talk about it.
No, yeah, let it fly, let it fly.
Yeah, so my general so if I think back to my let me give context. So the way I think about adjustments and adaptations in general is I try to be as minimalistic as possible. So because Tekken 7 is such a is heavily skewed in favor of the attacker, I am often you can see my screen, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, I'm often hyper focused on what is like sticking to my game plan and like keeping my offensive threats up, and then
Yeah.
making minimal adjustments to make sure I'm not dying to what you're doing, right? So especially in the beginning, I'm just kind of doing shit. Like in the very beginning, I'm not like thinking too much. Like I know that, okay, Nina probably has like down back 2, so I don't want to swing far from like long range, but I'm not really hyper focused on anything until you kind of show me something. So I'm just kind of running Noctis stuff, and that all just kind of works. Obviously, I'm keeping track of what kind of worked. So we got 2-2 up forward 1. I love when that works because it's very low risk
I'm
for
sorry,
me.
which one is 2-2? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 2-2 into the Steve
I know
back
what it
one.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, here I'm testing with some mids, and then I see you do a 2-4, which to me is like, oh, okay, I gotta, be a little more patient when a button's coming out, maybe duck it, get a launch, that kind of thing. But I'm not thinking too much about it. Just throwing out my mid pokes, seeing how you deal with it. I don't make the adjustment I just thought about, but I'm not like, I forgot about it already. So yeah, very minimal and trying not to think too much about it. I'll let this play while I keep thinking. The thoughts I remember the most about focusing on was like, oh, he's got pretty good jab placement, so even though he's stopping my offense, well, at first I thought like, oh, he has pretty good jab placement, like I can't like keep my offensive going, or I just keep getting stuck doing things. And then by game 3 I was kind of like, well, his jab's really good, but I'm not getting like counter hit, or like it's not leading to anything, right? So like I was like, this is really good jab interrupt, and then nothing came out of it. So I was just like, oh, okay. So at first I was afraid of like continuing my offense. You'll see me like hesitate. But after that, I was kind of just like, oh, I can just keep doing my thing. If it's a magic 4 or something, I'll be a little more sweaty about it. I'll be like, oh god, okay.
Yeah.
This was an interesting moment because I really felt like it was gonna work. And let me see if I can understand why. So,
Okay.
a block happens, and then it's like 2 backdash timings, and then you press again, right? There's kind of like, you hit my block, you're unsafe, so you hesitate, or you move a bit, and then you see nothing happen, so you do it again. Same thing here, like nothing happens a bit, nothing happens, and then you go in and poke. The throw is successful. So here, the block happens, down forward 1, nothing I threw this. There. I think that was the tempo they gave it to me. So this hits me, we both do nothing for a bit. Oh no, you do your slide right away, my fault.
Yeah.
It felt
I definitely know what you're talking about.
yeah,
though.
the actions don't line up with what I'm saying, but for some reason it felt right here that there would be a delay and then my up forward 1 would hit. It just felt like completely right. So I wouldn't overthink it.
Yeah.
But that's just what was in my head at the time, since that's what you were asking about.
Sure.
Yeah. I'm spending more time trying to be fully observant of everything you're doing without tunnel visioning on a specific thing you're doing.
Right.
And staying open to all the things you're doing, and then trusting my body to kind of take care of it, is what led to like counter hits like that, right? That's unsafe. Yeah. Minus 13. Now I'm just like, what I think in these situations is like, okay, you know, I can maintain wall pressure until they mess up. I ideally don't want to throw it away on a demo man or a low parryable hit unless they are really sitting still doing nothing. I see you side roll, I do a couple of unparryable lows. Your offense is going. I just back up, try to see what's happening. Yeah, you picked a slowish move there, so I didn't know if you were gonna duck or attack me, but by sticking to a faster poke, it gave me that window.
Yeah, so like I saw you backdash, so I thought maybe you would continue spacing, so I was like, okay, maybe I can try and catch something more mid-range.
Yeah.
There.
I think down back 2 is really strong if you see somebody being active at range. So if I'm using like 2-2 or like the bigger swords, you're down, or forward 1+2, your down back 2 is a good, like, you're just because you're far away doesn't mean you're free to go. You gotta keep them honest at that range. But if I'm using faster pokes, that can be like not as strong, especially like up forward 1 and stuff. So this string is interesting because you were hitting me with it a lot, and I was like somewhat thinking of ducking it, but I was actively trying not to be too worried about it, right? So even though it was a problem, it wasn't a problem that demanded my immediate attention. So I kind of noted that you were doing it a lot, but I was not like spending a lot of mental APM being like, oh man, I should have ducked that, I can kill him, you know? No, it's like, you know, this move is happening to me, but it's not a big deal.
Yeah, it's like, you know, some chip damage of a jab, basically.
Yeah, I don't think, and I think that's a mental thing I've only recently discovered, where if I'm in a tournament, like sitting there next to the person, every problem feels like it's an immediate issue.
Yeah, right? It sure does.
Yeah, so a thing I actively do is like, I'll note it, and then if the opportunity comes up, I'll take care of it, you know, but I'm not sweating it too much. I also had the idea here of like, what will he do if I just start spamming jabs and going hard, you know, on offense? And then you got that little sidestep launch. I'm like, okay, what happens if I just like keep going? Yeah, so I didn't get a lot out of it. It wasn't generating me a win. So for me, the answer was like, maybe it could work, but what I was doing before was working fine. So let's just go back to chilling out and doing our default thing.
Right.
So you see me run away for like a good 5 seconds. I don't know why I thought that would work. I was pretty confident. Oh, my bad. What? Didn't mean to skip it.
You're good.
What? Stick freaked out. Okay. Yeah. I recognize that I wasn't like, even though you weren't really like killing me off of. Actually, no. My like forcing offense didn't really make a big difference. In fact, I ended up losing that round, so I just like, okay, we don't have to force that. Let's just chill. Do our thing. That was working. That was a good duck on that, but I don't know if you were reading that or not. But
no, definitely not.
Yeah, I think when that happens, it clues me in on something. I can't remember. Yeah. I think that's why I start spamming 2-2 a lot more. and that I saw. I loosely saw that your backdash was like had a lot of like crouching frames in it.
Yeah.
So I felt more comfortable doing something like that. I'd let go of my low parry. That's just a FTX rage drive. I just do it every time.
The FTX rage drive.
Yeah, it's like not like it's like it's good and bad. Like it's good if you're not playing me often and you don't see very often.
Yeah.
It's bad because it becomes very predictable after you play me enough. So,
I see.
but because we hadn't played a lot and I was just like, oh, let's
Yeah.
throw it. A long
Yeah,
set.
show it.
So here I did a lot of 2-2s again because I saw random ducks
Yeah.
coming, a bit of slower offense. So I was like, all right, let's just see how this is handled.
Is the two string like -12 actually?
It's minus the 2-2 by itself is -9. 2-2 forward 2 is -14.
2-2 4 2 is -13.
Yeah. 14. So she does I forgot the input, but she does like the spin into the kick, spin punch, like back 1-3 or something. I don't know how to punish. This hit. What was I doing? Oh, I kept trying to read your jab retaliation, but you never did it. I just ended up getting lucky. No, that's just not back. So yeah, when I was forcing that offense with the jabs, it wasn't working too well. But I noticed there was like a lot of movement and kind of just like things like that. I'm like, oh, okay, well 2-2 counts that. Like, you literally have to kind of hold back to beat 2-2.
Yeah.
So that's why I just started spamming that. Can't break those. And then just a random forward 2. Yeah. Again, I actively was trying to think less about what I was doing in the game and just kind of like, oh, what am I doing that's working? Are there any like problems that actually demand my attention, or am I just like able to keep vibing it out and then find opportunities?
Right.
Yeah. So what you also can operate under similar things. Like, what are you doing that's working pretty well? You're hitting me with at least in the game, it felt like you were hitting me with a fuck ton of lows. And until you get like multiple low parried or like actually losing a lot because of it, in neutral, it's honestly kind of fine to, keep going low. Now here, you losing the wall position was really huge here. This just changes everything. Now I can just start spamming that. The down forward 4, threatening counter hit, forces you to kind of do nothing. That was good. I'm trying to like see like, oh, is he gonna duck it? Can I like build a mind game off of it, or am I just gonna keep fishing for counter hits? Yeah. It's like really obnoxious. See, that jab is really good. That jab is really good. And I felt like you were doing that all 3 sets. Yeah, especially because Noctis doesn't have a generic down 4. So I have to commit to down back 3, which you get either a low parry or while standing 1/+2. That jab is really good.
I see.
So I ducked thinking you'd retaliate with an immediate low, but you do the sidestep 4 low, or whatever the move is. And then
sidestep 4.
Yeah. And then so I decided to swing and died.
Round 2.
I thought to myself, okay, the jab is kind of annoying, but if I stay in frame or just chill out after, I shouldn't die. Like I'm not eating like there was no like wipe the floor, stuff like that. So I'm not too afraid of just chilling. Wipe the floor is usually the main thing that gets me to start to act, because it's like, I'm getting knocked down with a fuck ton of damage. I gotta figure it out. Input. I was really surprised that didn't punish. A whiff punish. These are mistakes I made that I was just like, okay, well, whatever. Next thing. Again, in tournament, you'll catch me dwelling on that a lot. But I'm making a video on that, so getting better.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. In those situations, every Nina I play against does like forward 2-1, 1+2 or something. I don't know what the move is. So every time I've been backdashing and preparing a punch parry. But yeah, you were like the first person I played in a long time that doesn't do that.
Yeah, one thing I realized is after that grab breaks, I'm not back turned, so I can do all my
Yeah,
my
you
regular,
get everything.
Round 3.
Yeah.
It's a funny situation.
Fight.
Yeah, sometimes it's like, funny doing like a wipe the floor out of that or something.
Yeah. No,
People
stuff like
just
that.
don't
Like
see
run
it
up, wipe the
happen.
floor. Stuff like that is nasty. So, is there a mid extension here or something?
Oh, for that, yes.
No, down for this one.
Okay,
is it the knee? She does the knee into like chain throw or something?
No. So if you do down forward 3-2,
Yeah.
the only mid that comes out of that is just 3 on its own, and it's like geyser kick.
Oh,
Or geyser
yeah.
cannon, I think.
So
it's
can you
called.
geyser cannon there instead of the low
no.
here? Oh yeah, okay.
Oh
That's
yeah,
what
yeah, yeah. It's wait. No. Because to get that last low,
Round
you have to do the one jab after.
Yeah. So for
before
me,
3-2.
it wasn't scary because it was like, oh, so that confirms the knowledge I had. In the moment, I was just like, well,
Yeah.
I'm not really scared of anything. I'm just gonna duck, and then if I get the block, I'm good. If not, I can just chill.
Yeah.
So that's like a round ending strat. Like if you're like really like, or set ending strat. You know, like you want me to think about it as little as possible. Which is why showing it to me a bunch in games 1 and 2 kind of let me get ready to block that. But if I hadn't seen that, I probably wouldn't hit by it.
I got you.
Because the mind game there is that like you make me duck
Yeah.
because I think the low is coming, and then you do nothing, and then I stand up, and then you go low again. That's like kind of the mind game, right?
Right.
Yeah. So, but you showed it to me so often, I was like, oh, he's probably gonna do the low. Like I'm fairly confident. Here, I was trying to play around your jab again. So I poke a few times, and I'm only going like -1 with my down forward 1, which has an extension. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna threaten that. We're near the wall. If he guesses wrong and jabs me, what did I counter hit? I'm sick. Jab. Oh, I counter hit it. Yeah.
KO.
Are you ducking there, or is it a just moving around?
4.
It's a Hayashida step. It just looks weird in online because I'm also playing on the left side.
Oh
so...
yeah, that part's fine. I'm just like, how are you ducking so long? Oh, this is my inputs. My bad. It's 14.
yeah, those are yours.
But yeah, Hayashida against Noctis is kind of whacked because he can just hit you so much.
It doesn't even really put you that far out of the off axis to
Yeah.
evade the sword throw.
Yeah,
so...
he can choose to track that way, so it's
Exactly. Is it just like a matter of like delaying when you do it?
it's a Noctis matchup thing. I just the good Ninas I play against just don't try it.
Okay.
Because like Victim used to do it all the time, and I just get free running 1+2s. Like here this sidestep like almost never works for Nina.
Yeah.
Like when you're not only in a normal situation, you back roll, you would have to start walking like now. Before I go
already
airborne.
been walking.
Before I go
see.
airborne, yeah. By the time I'm airborne, the axis is like locked in unless you're like Zafina. And Nina, I've labbed a bunch of the characters. I think Nina, for whatever reason, has the hardest time stepping running 1+2 out of every character. I do not know why.
Piss off.
I try to go 1+2, but you go under. Remember that.
KO.
Yeah, so it's funny because like
Piece of cake.
in game 1 you did the like homing mid where she like chops her hands, and that would have wall splatted me
Oh,
here.
yeah.
But I don't know, I just low parried.
Hey,
so yeah.
Sometimes you just gotta do it.
Yeah, so there's definitely feel free to ask anything obviously, but I think what the
Sure.
takeaway is I'm like super analytical and I try to problem solve as much as possible, but once I get in the game, it's way more beneficial to be able to just observe and keep your senses open to everything the opponent's doing,
Right.
without necessarily tunnel visioning on any one of them. Right, and then
Yeah, I think that's a problem for me sometimes. For sure.
it's a constant battle for me. But once you figure that out,
Mhm.
you end up being in this mix of like you get closer to flow state, and then you
Mhm.
can prime yourself to solve problems with like little things. Like I was like, oh okay, she's jabbing me, you know, let's chill our offense out. And then I realized, oh wait, she's jabbing me, but I'm not dying for it. Aside from when you did the sidestep 4. So it was like, oh, I'm not. I basically what that told me is that I'm getting jabbed, but I'm not in a mix up after, even though you're like +8 or whatever. So I was like, I can just keep playing, you know. Now
Yeah,
if
I
I
mean-
started eating magic 4s and stuff, that changes it. But
Right.
that's another thing. Like play to what your opponent shows you, not just what can happen.
Mm-hmm. So one thing I can immediately just take away from watching that back is like, also something kind of what you said is, like if I interrupted with jabs, it's like, aside from maybe 1 or 2 times, like it didn't necessarily lead to much. I think just going back and watching it, trying to immediately remember my mindset. I personally don't think I was even ready to interrupt any of those.
Yeah, I mean,
Like
sometimes
I threw a jab and it worked, and I was like, oh shit, it worked. You know what I mean? And
that is often how I jab too. It's just like fucking stop, you know. I jab
Yeah.
people when I'm like, can you chill the fuck out? And then once you understand your jab is hitting, Ty is really good at this. If you ever watch Ty, he'll land a jab, and then if he recognizes it hit, he's like hatchet kicking already, because he's like, oh yeah, now I know you can't do anything,
yeah.
right? Or he'll
Yeah,
be
well,
like immediate sidestep button. So like he's super good at recognizing like jabs on hit.
Okay.
But it's kind of like if you're in a mode where you can't tell the offense is coming and you're using jab to try to control that, you can also start preparing like, I'm trying to control his offense. If I'm successful, I can apply a mix-up right away, see what happens. You don't have to. And usually doing nothing is better. But over the course of all 3 games, I stopped being afraid of the jab, which is the ultimate thing. Even if you did like jab magic 4 or something, and that would have killed me. I'm like, oh, damn.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. In general, Nina Magic 4 is really good. It really kind of brings it all together because she has like slower lows, right?
Yeah.
Outside of
Yeah.
generic.
Well, her
death roll.
lows are like 20 frames.
Yeah, she has like slower lows. And she has if she starts going into like her sidestep stance, like Hayashida pressure, things like that, like the mini mixes there, they are your opponent has to answer that with like hitboxes, like down forward 1 or things like that. So your use of Magic 4 shuts down, like you were using 2-4 kind of like that, like if someone is antsy to hit you back, they get blown up for it. Magic 4 is the same thing but in neutral. Right, so if you sense that they're trying to stuff your offense with their hitboxes, you Magic 4 them to get them to stop, and if they become scared, then your entire kit becomes scary again, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, but if I know that, hey, I don't have to think about Nina's offense if I can just hit her, that's because that strategy only works because Magic 4 isn't blowing me up.
Okay. All right. So. 2 things that were weighing like slightly on your mind was Wipe the Floor and Magic 4, and I didn't do either of those things.
Yes, when I play against Nina, those are the scariest things to me because if I just want to block and look for up forward 1s, Wipe the Floor beats me up. If I want to control you, the Magic 4 beats me up. So either mode I'm in is answered by like the other.
I see. Okay. I mean, yeah, I feel like Magic 4 is something that just, in general, I recognize that I could definitely utilize more often.
If you play against somebody who fucks you up with that enough, it'll feel like the most broken move in the game.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. Like, obviously it has answers. Like, I can, like, sidestep right on the timing. I can run up duck. Like, it has answers. But for the game plan that you're looking for, especially if somebody starts just hitting you and you don't have, like, full defensive awareness of what their options are, Magic 4 is so good.
Yeah, it kind of it's I'm realizing like how you know it goes against what I'm doing by not doing it because it's literally my fastest counter hit.
Yeah.
Like, well, counter hit launch, that's not a jab.
Yeah, like the way you're playing is getting me to press into you, right?
Yeah.
That is, and if as soon as you can smell that, like you can destroy me for it, which is really good.
Yeah, I was trying to test my like down forward 3 placements when I had like mid range distance. One thing I noticed like playing online sometimes is like I'll do it and I'll let it hang too long. You know, like is down forward 3 on its own, that if you block it minus 11, but if you let it hang like and you don't do the follow up, there's actually a lot of time before you recover to block. It's like you know, I was like trying to be really conscious of that.
Yeah. For sure.
So, I mean, it clearly it worked because you know I don't think I really got blown up for down forward 3 too many times.
Yeah, I tried to whiff punish it or something and it was kind of hard, but
yeah.
Your placement of down forward 3 was like effective for what it was trying to do. The off the top of my head, the downsides I could think of is if you commit to a hitbox at that range and somebody is ready, they can whiff punish, obviously.
Yeah, definitely.
And also, it's not giving you a lot.
Right, it's
right?
not.
Like, compared to, like, down forward 3, when that hits, it makes me think, okay, at this range, I probably should block so down forward 3 comes. But if you convince me I can come in, like, oh, this is a safe period, then down back 2 might counter hit me. Right? So it's one of those things where, like, if it's working for you, use it, but, like, less might also be more. Right. Like, it's probably good in a kill situation where, like, somebody is at a distance and they want to close the gap to mix you up, and then you have this super fast, like, mid-range hitbox with extensions to cover the whiff. That shit is good. But in like at a
Yeah,
full
yeah.
health situation, I would rather do nothing and see if they'll run into my down back too.
Okay. Yeah, actually that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It's like I don't I the way I use down forward 3, like I definitely like in general overuse it.
Yeah.
So like, I've been consciously, trying to kind of like what you said, just place it in where it really matters. Cuz I was thinking like how many times in a match am I going to like realistically do that? And if people are running in on me from far range, which I wouldn't expect you to do that unless you were coming in with a sword. But
Yeah.
like, you know, that's if I confirm the mid, then high's guaranteed, and that's like 25 damage like guaranteed.
Yeah.
And obviously it's not going to work this way on everybody, but that too doesn't, like, you're right, it doesn't really give you much afterwards if you don't get a counter hit on the 2.
Yeah.
But like, how do I want to word this? It's like, I feel like 90% of the time after I've done it, like even if it wasn't counter hit or anything, like people just don't do anything.
Yeah. So
And
yeah, that's not inherently bad. And if a move is working for
Yeah.
you, like go ahead, use it.
Right.
It's a case of like, especially as you play against better players, moves
Right.
you do and don't do
Mhm.
create windows where people understand that they feel safe or not. Right? That's a big
Mhm.
reason my up forward ones hit all the time, is because I'm spending 90% of the game backdashing. So it seems like I'm not going to hit you.
You're not gonna do it, yeah.
Right? So it's like it's like a jump scare is scarier when it's not telegraphed, right?
Yeah.
But if they're doing a jump scare every 20 seconds, it's no longer scary.
Right.
The same thing with like moves, like and giant counter hits. So like you create the jump scare by making people forget about the presence that you like, the idea that you even want to hit them,
Yeah. Yeah, no, that definitely makes sense.
Yeah.
Quick Noctis question. You're a forward 1, what is that, like, is that 13 frames?
13 frames startup. It's like -4 on block.
Okay.
It's decently whiff punishable. So if you duck it,
Mhm.
a lot of the ducks you had were windows to like while standing to it.
Yeah, for sure. I think sometimes just like when I, and this is just something I need to work on, but it's like sometimes if I duck stuff like that, it's like an extra second that it's taking to register that I did it.
Yeah. For up forward 1, it has to
And-
be a read. It has to be like
Yeah,
as if you
'cause
were like ducking, launching an electric, but not as extreme.
Yeah, because I feel like that move recovers somewhat fast.
It does. It's decently fast. It's still like whiff
Yeah.
punishable. It's like not
Yeah,
in the realm of
definitely.
like it's not in the realm of like Lydia Julia, but it's
Right,
definitely
right.
definitely yeah. It's like you have to be thinking about it as you do the duck. What was I thinking? And then yeah, if you're against a matchup you don't understand very well, like you don't have all the
Mhm.
details, your
Yeah.
best bet is to run your offense.
Mhm.
Run your offense and find the gaps that exist there. And if they are suddenly countering your offense really well, like find a new way to attack or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of my friends in Orlando sometimes are just like, "Hey, you're too passive. You're too passive."
There's nothing
You're
wrong
too
with being
passive.
passive if you have the defense to
Right.
back it up. Arguably, that's the better strategy because you tell your opponent nothing
Yeah.
when you don't swing at them, right? So like
Right,
so
for
that's
sure.
not a bad thing with the defense to supplement it,
Yeah.
which is
true.
also where
And-
I'm lacking. I'm pretty passive
Okay.
and often I don't have the defense to back it up. But when I do,
Fair
it's
enough.
disgusting. Like that's just like knee at Evo
Yeah,
type
yeah.
shit,
Mhm. For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I really like playing a patient playstyle, which is really funny playing a button mash character.
Yeah.
But
No, Nina can do everything, so it's like you
Yeah,
shouldn't feel locked
yeah,
into a certain style. Or
Yeah,
anything.
exactly. Exactly. I feel like she can do everything.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to do everything though, obviously it's I got to take more time
Yeah.
to be able to do everything. But I like all her tools. Despite whatever shortcomings they have. A lot of inconsistencies like in combos and stuff. Easily stepped, easily ducked. But for better or for worse, I think I feel like I'm really starting to formulate like an overall game plan where I can just make the fact that a lot of people just don't duck her unless I do X or Y. It's just like the follow-ups to really capitalize on being right about that. And
Yeah,
I think sometimes I fall short on being right, and I take too much time to hesitate, and then I'm like, okay, wait, let me give them their turn back so I can take it.
Yeah.
Like,
Remember that your goal isn't to get them to duck or to condition them into a behavior. Your goal is to kill them. So like what they do, how they're conditioned,
yeah, true.
how they're
True.
how they're conditioned is a consequence or like a outcome of you doing your thing. You
Yeah.
just pick up on it as it happens. But like you could play against somebody who will refuse to be conditioned, which I've talked to people about.
sure.
Like they won't be conditioned. I can't hit them with the low. I'm like, then just kill them with the mid. You know, like like they won't ever duck. Then keep going low. Like it feels bad to like risk your life like that every time. But if they're not doing anything about it, then kill them. You know. So
yeah.
Yeah.
I hear that loud and clear.
Yeah.
I think like you know kind of we were talking before about like rank mode and how we kind of just use it to kind of like test things out.
Yeah.
And I think, and I'll just part with this because I just looked at the time, but
Yeah.
I'll part with this. I just like I'm sorry, how do I want to word this? It's like you know, I totally lost my
You good?
I
If
totally
you
lost my
remember,
train of thought.
if you remember, DM
Yeah.
me. Like, and you can always DM me.
Yeah, for sure, I will.
Yeah.
But hey, I really appreciate the session.
No, this is good.
And there's a lot of suspicions I had about my game plan that were, you know, kind of confirmed. And I think there's a clear, you know, like off of those 3 games, I feel like I actually really did just like learn a lot about what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And,
Awesome. Yeah.
You know, seeing what opportunities I didn't take, or you know, opportunities that well, I guess opportunities I didn't take. I'll just say that.
Yeah. So going into an event, your event's like tomorrow, right?
Yeah, my event's tomorrow.
Yeah. So like, don't try to make any major changes. The biggest things I would see is like, if you feel like your regular thing isn't working, try more Magic 4, try more Wipe the Floor, see what happens. That's what like
honestly,
me as a coach would say. Like it's really easy to overload and then just do nothing or freeze. So what I would say is like, when you're pulling up to the event, do your thing, and if things aren't working, like remember like, hey, maybe Magic 4 will work. That's what I would say.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But all right, hey, thanks. Yeah, if I remember what it was, you know, it wasn't like the craziest thing, but I'm sure even if it takes me a while, if I play again, I'll make the mistake again. I'll remember.
All right, for sure. Yeah, you'll probably watch it back and remember something. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Cheers, man. I'll catch you later.
All right. Take care, man. Thank you.
Bye.